Have you found yourself always looking for a sign, always looking for synchronicities before you move, before you do anything? Are you always asking and looking for a sign? Well, in this video, I want to talk about why you need to stop looking for signs, why you need to stop looking for synchronicities, and what you need to do instead. So, hi, and welcome to the video. So, today I want to talk about signs. Today I want to talk about synchronicities and why you should stop looking for signs and synchronicities in your life. Not totally, but kind of. So, today I wanted to talk about signs because it's an interesting thing. I know personally when got to make sure the mic's on. I know personally especially when I first started on my spiritual journey, I needed a sign. I looked at everything as a sign. Like, this is a sign for me not to do this, or this is a sign for me to do this, or all of these things. And this weekend, I was hiking with my son, and I was thinking about my children. So I want to share a story with you, and it's going to tie everything together on why you should stop looking for signs and synchronicities. I was on a hike this weekend, and I was just thinking about the transition of parenthood. And often you can find a lot of spiritual concepts in parenting. It offers, like, being a parent and having children and going through the evolution as a parent offers so many different lessons that are so imperative when it comes to your spiritual journey and growth. So whether or not you look at yourself as a child of God or the universe or source or anything like that, this will make sense as I share it. On this hike, I was just thinking about how my kids are teenagers now, and the journey of a parent transitions. So I'm at the point in my parenting and as a mom in my motherhood now that I'm actually transitioning to more of I don't know how to explain it, but now my kids are at the point where they're practicing being an adult and making decisions. Because making decisions is a practice it's a discipline that has to be practiced. So oftentimes you'll find with some people in life where they haven't had the opportunity to practice making decisions and choices. So they're always asking other people about everything: what outfit they should wear, where they should go to school, what they should eat. They're always looking to the external for validation or how to make a decision. But what I've discovered is that as a parent, I have to kind of pull back the reins and allowing them to make their own decisions, because I know that this is a practice for them. So as they practice making their own decisions, making their own choices, they get better and better at it. Now, as a parent, I'm still there to give them guidance and advice, and I'll often give them cues that will help them make a better decision. But ultimately, I have to pull back so they can practice making decisions and choices, so they build that trust in themselves. So they build that trust that they can make sound, good choices. So I say all of that to say, in our spiritual growth, in our spiritual journey, we often are given cues, given signs, given synchronicities to help us as we build that trust in life and build that trust in ourselves and be able to tap into our own intuition to make choices. But eventually, what you'll find is on your spiritual journey, you'll be looking for signs and they're there, but eventually those signs tend not to work after a while. And those cues that is given are there to help you build trust in the choices and decisions that you make as a child of God, as a co-creator, whatever you want to call it. Those are there to help you build that trust, not for you to rely on. Because eventually you'll get to a point where you are to trust in yourself, because this is the know thyself, knowing of yourself. And so I see it in the parenting of my children as they get older and I have to pull back. I'm always there. I'm always there if they need that advice. But as their parent, I know that for them to flourish in life, I have to pull back and allow them to make decisions and choices. I might throw cues in there every once in a while to make sure that they're, making good choices and decisions. I'm there for advice and guidance, but I do have to pull back so they can build that muscle, that discipline in making choices and decisions. So they then trust in themselves. So when they get older and they become adults and they're in the practice of making choices and decisions, that they feel comfortable because they've practiced this and they trust that they can make the right choice and decision. And so that's kind of how life, your evolution, your spiritual growth unfolds, is that eventually you decide and choose because you've practiced this thing and you've been able to practice enough where you start to trust in your intuition. And that's really important to cultivate, is that trusting in your intuition. And when we look for signs, we are looking outside and the external to tell us where to go, where to move, what to do, and about ourselves. But to know yourself is to go within, go inward. And that is how spiritual growth and your evolution unfolds, is that we stop looking so much to the external and start trusting in the internal, in our choice and decision. Because eventually you got to trust, so have that unwavering faith and trust so deeply that the external doesn't even faze you, because that you're so trusting in your intuition that the external, is just confirmation of what you've decided and chose. Then the external becomes confirmation for the internal. You're not looking to the external for a sign, for synchronicities, for cues, or anything like that. The external becomes signs of your own trust. You see how it flips? So as my children become adults, they have practiced making choices and decisions so much that they can trust that they are making a good, sound decision. They trust in themselves. And so, yes, I will always be there if they need it. I might throw some cues out there every once in a while, especially if they're going through something that's really huge. They can always come to me. So you can always ask for a sign. But the point is for them to have practiced so much under, the guise, and I've given them cues, that they trust in that. They trust in themselves. And this is where we start coming back to ourselves and start trusting in our intuition. So if you're so reliant on a sign or a synchronicity, I encourage you or invite you to, and especially if it's not working for you right now, because eventually those signs and synchronicities don't work. I know, because that has been my life. Like, I was like, give me a sign. This thing used to work. But eventually I learned, oh, I have to trust in myself. And every decision and things that I make, everything is a synchronicity because it's all enchanted. It is all enchanted. It is all working out for me because I trust in my intuition. So even if something seems like it's to the contrary, I know and trust and have unwavering faith because I've practiced it so much that it's still enchanted. It's still leading me. It's still perfect. It's still leading me to what I know is for me because I'm trusting in my intuition. I'm not looking to the external. I'm not looking to the reality to tell me that I'm on track. The reality is a reflection of what's going on inside of me. Because I have built that muscle, I've practiced it I've practiced it so often that I know that the external is reflecting what is going on inside of me. So that's what I wanted to share in this video, is that anytime that you're looking to the external and you're looking for a sign and you need a sign before you can do anything, before you can move, I encourage you, maybe you're at the point in your journey, in your spiritual growth, where you don't need those cues anymore, where you don't need those signs, where you can start trusting in yourself, trusting in life, because you are life. Okay? So that's all for this video. I just wanted to share. There's a lot of stuff. Manifesting Made Basic, we have a launch coming up where I'm really excited about. This is going to be completely different from our other launches, which I feel like is going to be so reflective of where I am in my growth. And, you know, you'll see. You'll see. I'll just say you'll see. But I did want to share that because, you know, it's interesting. I did reflect on that on our hike with my son, because they are at the point where I am pulling back and allowing them to make more decisions and choices for their life, where I'm not really dictating to them. You know, I ask them, what do they think? I ask them, how do they feel about it? And they are practicing making choices and decisions for themselves, because truly, and what you'll find is being decisive and choosing is a discipline. It does take practice. So there's that. I see my kids, they're on their way back. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Anyways, that's all for this video. Like and subscribe. And we have some more hill camps where we talk about the spiritual concepts, and I teach on these spiritual concepts. If you haven't already, I invite you guys to check out the last hill camp, because they come with a worksheet or a workbook. And the last one, we talked about the sundial principle, which is something that I came up with, and it talks about the shadow side of things. So I really wanted to share that. Anyways, that's all for this video, and I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.